Welcome to a new Planetary and Seismic update. On the SGI graph from the previous time frame, we see the convergence of planetary and lunar geometry. It was quite a lot happening in the solar system. And if we look at the seismic activity that we had, on the 13th it started with a temporal cluster of stronger earthquakes, and then we had a high lunar peak late on the 15th, immediately followed by a magnitude 6 south of the Kermadec Islands. And as you may recall from the previous update, from the 16th to the 19th in particular, we had a powerful convergence of planetary alignments. The seismic increase started on the 18th and it peaked magnitude 6.1 on the 19th, and then following the lunar peak on the 19th, we had a magnitude 7.4 in Japan. That was on the 20th. And speaking of the 20th, if you look at the next time frame, we see another planetary peak here on the 20th. This because of a quadruple alignment with Earth, Mercury, Mars and Saturn. And two alignments happened on the 20th, Earth, Mercury, Saturn and Earth, Mercury, Mars. And another alignment, part of the quadruple alignment, will be Mercury, Mars, Saturn early on the 26th. So we had the magnitude 7.4 on the 20th. Not sure if that's the only larger seismic activity that we're going to have. It depends on the stress levels in Earth's crust. But we have the moon in a conjunction coming up tonight with Jupiter. And we can have an obvious seismic response. That's the combination of the planetary alignments on the 20th, followed by this lunar peak with Jupiter late on the 22nd. And so around the 23rd, there could be a larger seismic event or maybe some temporal clustering of stronger earthquakes. Then on the we have the quadruple alignment here in the solar system, by the way. That's Earth, Mercury, Mars and Saturn. And you can see the planets are grouped here in space. Mercury, Mars, Saturn and Neptune. I discussed this in detail in the previous update. And we had quite a seismic increase, like I said, including the 7.4 in Japan. So that's also very significant to track these planetary positions here. Back to the SGI graph up until the 29th. On the 24th we have Earth in alignment coming up with Venus and Uranus. That's early on the 24th. It will be followed early on the 25th by Venus making a right angle with Earth and Mars, and then early on the 26th, Mercury, Mars and Saturn. So spread out over 3 days we have three significant geometries coming up. In the solar system, this is how it looks. This is Mercury, Mars and Saturn in an alignment. Earth is to the right, as you can see here, because Earth is moving counterclockwise there. We have Venus making the right angle with Mars and with Earth, significant geometry if Venus makes a right angle. And then we have also Earth, Venus and Uranus coming up. So the order is first Earth, Venus, Uranus early on the 24th, Venus a right angle with Earth and Mars early on the 25th, and then finally Mercury, Mars, Saturn early on the 26th. It's a bit difficult to say exactly when increased seismic activity is most likely to occur. We have lunar peaks on the 25th and 26th, so I suspect around the 26th there we could see a seismic increase, perhaps 27th, following that geometry. It's difficult. Earth, Venus, Uranus can sometimes result in a magnitude 7 earthquake, but again it depends on the stress levels in Earth's crust. The Earth doesn't produce magnitude 7 earthquakes all the time, and we just had one, but be on extra alert just in case. Finally, on the 26th we have Mercury, Venus, Jupiter coming up. Mercury and Venus are both involved, and that's significant, and it will be followed immediately by significant lunar geometry. The moon in opposition with Mars, Saturn and Neptune later on the 28th and on the 29th. So this is also pretty tight, and as a result we can see a temporal clustering of stronger earthquakes, the typical higher 5, maybe borderline 6 on the 29th, 30th most likely. And there could be a larger one in there, possibly a significant magnitude 6 earthquake, because Mercury, Venus and Jupiter are both in alignment, and Mercury and Venus are both involved there. This is what we're going to have in the coming time frame. Check out the latest updates on the website and also in our social media. Stay safe everyone, and until next time.